All right, so I just filmed the brief book review for a picture of Dorian Gray, and I wanted to read the first page because I kind of like doing this. It's kind of fun, and it reminds me of these books a little bit more than just flitting through them, trying to find all the characters' names and like remembering the story. Me doing this has kind of made me curious if I want to reread some of these books, especially some of the shorter ones that I could probably get through in just a couple of days, because these are a lot of fun to read since they are a little bit shorter. But chapter 1 starts on page 5, but chapter 1, first page of A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. The studio was filled with the rich odor of roses, and when the light summer wind stirred amidst the trees of the garden, there came through the open door the heavy scent of the lilac, or the more delicate perfume of the pink flowering thorn. From the corner of the divan of Persian saddlebags on which he was lying, smoking, as was his custom, innumerable cigarettes, Lord Henry Wotton could just catch the gleam of the honey-sweet and honey-colored blossoms of a laburnum, whose tremulous branches seemed hardly able to bear the burden of a beauty so flame-like as theirs. And now and then the fantastic shadows of birds in flight flitted across the long tussar silk curtains that were stretched in front of the huge windows, producing a kind of momentary Japanese effect, and making him think of those pallid jade-faced painters of Tokyo who, through the medium of an art that is necessarily immobile, seek to convey the sense of swiftness and motion. The sullen murmur of the bees shouldering their way through the long unmown grass, or circling with monotonous insistence round the dusty gilt horns of the straggling woodbine, seemed to make the stillness more oppressive. The dim roar of London was like the burden note of a distant organ. In the center of the room, clamped to an upright easel, stood the full-length portrait of a young man of extraordinary personal beauty, and in front of it, some little distance away, was sitting the artist himself, Basil Hallward, whose sudden disappearance some years ago caused, at the time, such public excitement, and gave rise to so many strange conjectures. As the painter looked at the gracious and comely form he had so skillfully mirrored in his art, a smile of pleasure passed across his face and seemed about to linger there. But he suddenly started up, and, closing his eyes, placed his fingers upon the lids as though he sought to imprison within his brain some curious dream from which he had feared he might awake. So, thank you for listening. That was the first page of chapter 1 of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Thanks.